We were just like weirdo kids that grew up in darkness, and at the same time, we always stood for something.
This is a deeper listen from KEXP, the show we talk with musicians about the thoughts and experiences that shape their music. I'm Emily Fox. Portugal the Man has released a new album. It's called SHISH. Portugal the Man started making a name for themselves in the late 2000s in the indie world of playing festivals like Bonnaroo and Lollapalooza.
Don't pray for us. We don't need no modern Jesus to roll with us.
In 2010, they signed to Atlantic Records, and in 2017, they won a Grammy for their song Feel It Still, which now has more than 1.5 billion streams on Spotify.
I'll be over now, but I feel it still.
This latest album is the first that Portugal the Man singer, songwriter, and founder John Gourley has written since leaving Atlantic Records and starting his own independent label. There's a new freedom in sound here, with lots of experimentation and constant sonic and genre shifts. There's moments of hair metal, hardcore, free jazz, moments that remind you of Weezer, or Gorillaz. But Gourley's signature falsetto can still be heard throughout the record. This range in sound was inspired in part by Gourley's daughter, who is diagnosed with a rare genetic condition where one of the symptoms is having a hard time regulating emotions.
The greatest choice that was made in finishing this album was thinking about what would Francis do.
This album is also a love letter to Gourley's home state of Alaska. I caught up with Gourley in the green room of Showbox SoDo ahead of a recent Seattle performance to learn more about the record, his daughter, and life growing up in Alaska. I first asked him to paint a picture of what life was like growing up there.
Growing up in Alaska, my dad was a builder, and my family grew up very much on like the barter system. So my dad never really believed in taking money if there was something that could be traded. It's just a very Alaskan thing. So we're very young kids. He builds a shed for Joe Reddington Sr., who is one of the founders of the Iditarod. He and Herbie Nyakpuk founded the Iditarod. He builds this shed for Joe Reddington and looks around. He sees dogs everywhere. He sees dog sleds. And he says, hey, you know what? Don't worry about the payment on the shed. Would you trade a dog sled team as a sled and some training? Like, show me the ropes. Show me how to do this for building the shed. So my dad gets into dog sled mushing, and that brings all of us out into a cabin in Icy Lake outside of Talkeetna, Alaska. My mom and dad both became Iditarod mushers and finishers, and it just took us off grid. We didn't have power until I was 16, 17. We didn't have phones. We took baths in like the little tin tub, hauling out water from the lake and thawing out snow, and just boiling water and jumping in the tub. My mom, talk about like a hero of mine, like one of the strongest people I know. My mom was out there fixing that generator in 20 below zero, just so we could watch cartoons and do our thing inside and have the lights on. But we didn't even have power at night, so we'd turn off the generator at night. It was just the wood stove and us. And dog mushing took us out to a lot of villages, like really small rural communities. I'm still a road system kid, so it's different than like growing up in a village. I'm not like a city kid or a town kid. It's just rural. Like I didn't have neighbors. We were very isolated. So it's kind of like it's not a unique experience in Alaska. There's a lot of people that grow up like that. but it is a different thing. So when I would go to villages, I would see community, and I would see towns would be community. So I ended up playing a lot of sports growing up, just so we weren't just weird bush kids.
Jenny generator, gonna fix the generator so the kids can watch the cartoons. Yeah, Mom, thank you too. Waiting for the lights to come on.
Also, what I noticed is on this album, the tracks are named after different villages or towns throughout Alaska. Can you tell me about some of the places that you like name on this record, for the tracks and what, some of those songs are about?
Yeah, so Connect is kind of like the standout to me. That's where I grew up. So Connect, it just felt so, there's just something so Connect about that song. Like we were just really reckless, little like goth kids. I mean at the time, like 90s, early 2000s, like we were just like weirdo kids that grew up in darkness, and at the same time we always stood for something. We were always fighting for something, space, listening to metal and whatever was on the rock stations at that time. It just feels very, very Alaskan to me. It reminds me of like the cold, the dark, but there's like warmth to it, like really warm tones. Tanana is probably my favorite. We just recently went out to Tanana. I went out there. We were a part of the No Ambler Road group that went out there to try and stop this road from being built out to Ambler. It's, for some info on that, it's a $2 billion road project out to Ambler that will just cut across Alaska for an Australian company to come in and extract our resources and destroy the environment around those areas. And people really like, when we look at these things, I think people think about like how big Alaska is, how many rivers we have, like what does it matter? Like there's nothing out there. The effects that has downstream, it's just so massive. Like you don't want to be destroying salmon spawning beds. Like it's Alaskan tax money that goes to build this road, and it's across permafrost. And Alaskans, if anybody knows what happens when you build on permafrost, if you build roads on permafrost, it melts, it thaws, refreezes. Those roads will be repaired year after year. It's a road to nowhere. We had the bridge to nowhere in Alaska. It's the road to nowhere. It's going to be endless tax dollars sent there. So I'm out in Tanana talking about this, and we go out there. I've got a Grammy. I've got a song. I have one. Like I have one of this song. we went out to Tanana, and the whole thing was that we're out Tyonek, New Minto, Evansville, Tanana. We're playing these like little shows for kids and different groups, and we get up in Tanana, and you get on stage, and it's really funny when you go out to these places because it doesn't matter. Like, Alaskans are just like this. Like, I feel very much the same. I don't even have my Grammy. Like, it's not why we play music. I gave it away.
Did you really?
I did give it away. You get out there, you play for the people, and you get this clap like, all right, yeah, that's pretty good. Like, oh, I know this song. The Tanana Village Band got up right after us and just absolutely brought down the house. And it doesn't matter who you are. Like, I felt that to be the most Alaskan thing ever, to get on stage and be like, yeah, of course the Village Band is better than you. Like, they're always better than you. And that to me is just very Alaska. Like, it's very Alaskan community to be so supportive of, like, that's what we're here for. Like, it's cool you're here, but we're really here for us and supporting each other. Every single place on this album is that to me.
Flowers till the petals are falling. I feel a sadness coming down. The pigs run in the zoo. There's murder in the news. Things work like me and you. Me and you. Everything's well, it's well in the end.
You mentioning that you have a Grammy. I mean, I was just looking like how many streams on Spotify is Feel It, and it's like 1 billion, right? Like, it's massive. I was like, whoa, that's a lot of commas in that number. And to now know like your upbringing, and to go from that, you're now based in Portland. What was that like for you, coming out of Alaska and then starting to make music, and then, have this meteoric rise, as Portugal the Man? What has that felt like to go from where you grew up to experience what you've experienced too?
I mean, we laugh about it all the time. My dad is the type of person that, like, you go back home and he'll wake you up at 5 a.m. and say, hey, it's cool you got that Grammy, but we are still going to work. And he'll drag you to work with him, and I got to go frame up some walls and do the whole thing. Alaskans don't allow you to be anything but Alaskan. And I'll tell you what, like, if you do that, like, at any moment, they will cut you off. Like, you are done. You're just out. But, I mean, even speaking on the Grammys, there was this feeling of, we're not going to win it. Like, we shouldn't win it. Like, we're up against, like, Bieber, like, Despacito, and, like, Coldplay and things. So, like, you're not getting the Grammy. But you should prepare a speech. I mean, everybody's sitting around us like, you need to prepare a speech because you're going to get up there and choke if it happens. We didn't think we were going to get it. So we sit down, and they're writing this speech. They're like, oh, here's all the people you should thank. And they gave me like this big list, and they're people that I'm extremely like appreciative of, like Julie Greenwald and Craig Kalman. Like, that's the reason I signed to Atlantic Records. Like, 2 massive music fans. I love them so much. They're not the reason I wrote that song. I realized this as we were heading to the Grammys. We had written this speech. Everybody's kind of like throwing in names and all the people we should thank. And as we started heading there, I just realized, like, this is not why I play music. I played music and wrote this song specifically because I had all these long drives to go get groceries in our dad's truck, and listening to Mr. Postman with my brother and sister and singing every single word of it. I mean, there's a reason that interpolation even happened, because it's just baked into me because of those Alaskan communities. So I rewrote the speech and made it about the Alaskans that I grew up with.
Man, we grew up in a small town in Alaska. This is crazy for us. Our heroes were dog mushers and stuff like that. This is nuts. So man, we'd like to rep this for all the kids in the villages, SHISH, Maref, Barrow, Bethel, all the indigenous people in Alaska and around the world. You're beautiful. Your culture is beautiful. Thank you for inspiring us. And Yeah, man. Rep where you're from. Be proud of who you are and where you're from.
So the bio around this record reads that this album is, quote, not only about the lessons he learned being raised in Alaska, but also some of the lessons he's already learned raising his daughter, Frances, who was diagnosed with one of the world's rarest genetic disorders 4 years ago. And I also read like only one of 6 people in the world were diagnosed with what your daughter has. Can you tell me a little bit more about how that diagnosis has just impacted your family and how that experience shows up on this record?
I always want to talk about Frances because she's so funny and so bright. Like she is the biggest, most explosive extrovert I've ever seen in my life, coming from 2 extreme introverts. I grew up with nobody around me. I don't want to be in front of people. I couldn't order food until I was like 26. Zoe, very much the same way, villages in England. And we have this like very extroverted kid. She's very fun, very funny. She loves her favorite thing in the world is compliments. She loves like running around complimenting people because she likes the reaction it gets. Like people are excited. She's very sweet. She started having seizures during the pandemic, and there are things to be grateful for in that moment. And we were home, so we were stuck at home, and we actually got to see it. And we started just tracking this, and Zoe is the one who really did it just all day long, taking video. Just followed her every single day and would just watch her take video. She realizes she's having seizures, and they're absence seizures. So it just looks like she's zoning out, but it's more noticeable. Like every couple of days, you kind of notice more and more. She went from a couple to like 100 a day. And her sweet little dog, could tell when she was having them. So she would come in and get me in the middle of the night. Aiko, our little dog, would come and get me, bring me into her room to lay down with her and make sure she's okay. So when the seizures started, we are told we should do genetic testing, see what it is, see where it comes from. It comes back as DHDDS. And at the time, there's just a couple of people in Italy and China. So we reach out to the person. Again, like we're pretty privileged. We have this song, like we can connect with people. So we start reaching out and really just started trying to connect the other folks with the HDDS. And we found like a greater community. There's different variants of it. Francis's is very rare, but I think there's like 70 people in the larger group of this NUS1. It's an adjacent DHDDS diagnosis, I guess, that they have as well. It manifests in like Parkinson's, isms, Alzheimer's, dementia. It's difficulty, like her body can't process sugars. So, and there's also they can't regulate emotion, which is kind of, that can be its own thing, but it's really amazing when it's the good way, like because it's just explosive happiness. And I watched this kid navigate so many things and so much adversity. Like she just kind of takes it all. It's just the way she is. Frances does whatever she wants. That's just, it's whatever she's feeling. And I love thinking about what is the record she would make. Like when I was making SHISH, I just thought about like, what would Frances do? There's no way. Like she wants the riffs. She's ADHD too. Like we're gonna bounce around, and just it made me want to write more linear, to not hold back emotions, to not overthink anything. And I think it was just the greatest choice that was made in finishing this album was thinking about what would Frances do. And she would just do what she feels like. So we made the record we wanted to.
And I feel like you hear that too, because I'm like, what are we hearing? There's like hair metal, there's like metal, there's like pop, there's like some avant-garde, like kind of experimental moments. So is that when you're talking that like you're channeling Frances, is it like sonically in that sound that we're hearing?
It's definitely sonically. It's definitely like that emotion.
So speaking of community, you call out land protectors in your song Tyonek. And you've done a lot for Indigenous communities in Alaska. Like you recently did benefit shows for a Sitka land house. You know, I've heard you've worked with Indigenous communities to do land acknowledgements before your shows. Like you actually work like, okay, where are we going to be? What's the local tribe? Let's work with that tribe, do a proper land acknowledgement. Like this was before land acknowledgements were like pretty commonplace. Can you talk about like why that is important to you?
Of course. I mean, Indigenous communities have done so much for me. I mean, they've always been very inviting, and that's where we hung out with people growing up. You never looked at them like Indigenous communities. It was just you're going to a village. Like that's just what it is. A land acknowledgement is not. We didn't even think of it that way growing up. It's like, oh, sick. We get to see the tribe come in. They're gonna dance and like drum and tell us a little bit about the land. And like these are the berries. Like, these are lessons as Alaskans who grew up in a place that can literally kill you if you don't know how to live out there. It needs indigenous knowledge. Like you needed that growing up. You needed it to live out there, and it's more like welcome to country. I guess that's what they do in Australia. So we call it land acknowledgements here. I think welcome to country is much more fitting because it's literally just being a good neighbor. Like I'm coming into your area. I want to learn from you. We literally created a dust bowl, not understanding the land. We should consider the land more.
And what's your favorite track sonically on this record?
Sonically, I think it's Kinnick. Kinnick is just like that's the song to me for the album. There's some really fun moments on the record. Tanana, James Mercer came by. Just he also lives in Portland, and we talked about writing or working on some stuff for the record. And he just happened to come by while we were working on that song. And the bridge is so Shins to me. It's so James Mercer. It's not even Shins. It's just James Mercer. He heard us playing the chord progression, and he's just sitting in the background doing the James thing where he's just singing a beautiful melody. And it was so perfect that we just kept it. We're like, oh, can we use that? Let's do it. So James, he should have a writing credit on that song. I believe he does.
Everything's well, it's well in the end. So throw off your clothes, have sex with your friend. Turn on the tap just to watch it running out. Not your mother's mission, keeping up with the youth.
All of the moments are fun though. Pittman Ralliers, there's a really intense song. Track 2.
Coming up and over the mountain, choking on the fumes, the snow cloud blinds our eyes.
We have David Marion featured on vocals, who used to play in a band called Fear Before the March of Flames. They took us on all of our first tours. And I'll tell you something, like our band toured non-stop coming up. We toured with hardcore bands because hardcore bands, first of all, put you in venues, all ages venues, 365 days a year. Like if you wanted to play a show, a hardcore band is playing a show. And it's in the spirit of community. What this album is about is it's DIY. It's where do we come from? We come from this. I want to have David Marion because he supported me coming up. And I think it's a really beautiful connection to all of that. And I mean, really, it makes me want to make another record like that. Maybe I'll make a hardcore record next.
Raining from the sky down on us. Fire raining from the sky down on us. We have become the kindling. We have become the kindling.
KEXP, we're all about music discovery, so we would love for you to give us a music recommendation. What's a song that you think everyone should hear, that you're like loving right now, or that has like really stuck with you somewhere along your life?
So it's not a new song. This is an odd one for me because I don't listen to Warren Zevon, but I really love that Desperados Under the Eaves. The way the song builds and the storytelling. I think there's something about that type of thing, like as an Alaskan, it is so, he's singing about LA, like the last place I would ever think to sing about. And it's just really beautiful storytelling, and the way the song builds is just incredible. It's not like the best singing or anything to me, like technically, I guess, but the honesty in it is very real. I think honesty is just, I mean, that's what makes everything work.
And if California slides into the ocean, like the mystics and statistics say it will, I predict this motel will be standing until I pay my bill. What? Don't the sun look angry through the trees?
Well, these are all my questions. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to all the Alaskans. They're everywhere. And I do want to say one thing about this record that was a very big inspiration for the lyrics on the album was my dad. This conversation I had with my dad, I had asked him to draw a dog sled for me. And it just sparked this conversation about sleds and this 6-foot toboggan. And he said, "Whoa, it's really interesting that you're asking me to draw a sled. I like that, because you know what I think about every night before I go to bed is I think about the things I would put in a 6-foot toboggan when I'm ready to leave." And he has no place that he's going. He just says, "when I leave." And as an Alaskan, you kind of understand what that is. I think everybody can understand what that is when he's ready to go. He's going to take these things with him. And they're all like mostly practical items and multi-use items. And I liked thinking about that while writing this album, thinking about the things I would put in my sled. And it's different than what other people would put in their sled.
What would be in your sled?
Well, the first thing is a tarp. It's actually in the lyrics. It's a tarp. You can collect water. You can use it for shelter. You can use it for insulation. You can use it for a blanket. It's multi-purpose things. Francis is obvious in that sled, so I got to fit a little bit less in there. It's that's the most valuable thing to me. So it's just things. It's like real, legitimate survival. Like, what do you need to survive?
I was speaking with John of Portugal the Man. They just released a new album called SHISH. Thank you so much for your time and congrats on the record.
Yeah, thank you so much.
When I close my eyes, when I close my eyes, I talk to collect water, use it for shelter. Sweets that don't spoil, you know I need my sugar. Ammo for God and 20 men with no future. Jump in the fire, walk with me.
That was John Gourley talking about Portugal the Man's new album, SHISH. And coming up next time on A Deeper Listen, we'll hear from the Anishinaabe-led band Ribbon Skirt.
I was also starting to write a lot more about my Indigenous identity and coming to terms with that and rediscovering that part of myself as an adult. So a lot of that was creeping into my songwriting as well.
That's next time on A Deeper Listen. Before you go, please do me a huge favor and rate and review this show. It would really mean a lot. But most of all, thanks for taking a deeper listen.